Today we're digging into something I think a lot of us wonder about. Can you really learn something well, deeply, without, books or a formal teacher?
Yeah, and we've got some great starting points from that Mind Talk podcast discussion with Alex and Jamie. They really tackled this head on.
Exactly. So our mission here is to sort of pull out the key insights from their chat.
Right, give everyone listening a condensed look at the pros, the cons, the possibilities, really, of learning outside the usual classroom or library setup.
It sounds simple at first, doesn't it? Books or no books, teacher or no teacher.
But it gets complicated fast. Alex and Jamie pointed that out straight away.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you think about it, and formal schooling, reading widely, it's not that old in the grand scheme of things, historically speaking.
That's a great point. For ages, learning was more direct, wasn't it?
Uh.
Apprenticeships, stories, just watching and doing. The idea of a teacher in some form has been around way longer than mass literacy.
So taking one of those elements away, books or teachers, it's a pretty interesting thought experiment.
Definitely. So Alex and Jamie started with the no books angle.
And Jamie mentioned something that I think rings true for a lot of us now. We're kind of already doing it, aren't we?
How so?
Well, with things like YouTube, podcasts like this one, online tutorials, you can learn a ton without ever opening a physical book.
Absolutely. The learning landscape is totally different now. But Alex brought up a really crucial counterpoint about why books still matter.
Right, the structure.
Exactly, the structure, the focus, and also that editorial process. Knowing the information has been checked, refined. There's a risk online sometimes of getting stuff that's, well, less reliable or just doesn't hang together properly.
Yeah, that structure point is big. Alex talked about maybe getting only a shallow understanding if you're just like clicking around different videos or articles.
Mm.
Books often force you or help you build a more connected, deeper picture. And I don't know, there's something about having the physical thing too. You can go back to it, mark it up.
True. But then Jamie jumped in with the practical side of things,
Oh yeah, the hands-on skills.
like fixing cars or cooking or art. For a lot of that stuff, reading a manual only gets you so far. You need to actually do it.
Totally. And they had that example, didn't they? Jamie knew someone who got really good at photography.
Yeah, just from online tutorials and loads of practice. Apparently never read a single photography book.
Which kind of proves Alice's next point, though.
That it depends on the subject.
Right. Like maybe you can learn photography that way, but imagine trying to learn, say, corporate law or brain surgery without textbooks.
Okay, yeah, fair point. The sheer amount of established knowledge there.
Yeah.
You probably need those comprehensive, structured resources like books provide. You can't just wing it.
So that's the book side. Then they switch gears to learning without a teacher.
And Alex immediately flagged all the different hats a teacher wears. It's not just about pouring information into your head.
Definitely not. He talked about teachers as guides, right?
Yeah.
Helping you understand tricky stuff.
And inspiring you, spotting your mistakes before they become bad habits, pushing you a bit. That human element, the feedback, it's huge.
Oh, absolutely. And Jamie added the accountability thing.
Yeah, that's crucial. It's so easy to just drift when you're learning on your own. No deadlines, no one checking in.
A teacher gives you that structure, that reason to keep going, even when it gets tough.
But then they also talked about people who did learn amazing things pretty much on their own.
The self-taught masters. Alex mentioned Leonardo da Vinci, didn't he? Just driven by pure curiosity.
And even modern examples like Elon Musk, apparently teaching himself rocket science fundamentals, which is wow.
It makes you think, Ray, what are the limits? But Jamie then kind of broadened the definition of teacher.
That was a really good insight. It doesn't have to be a formal instructor.
It could be a mentor or just someone more experienced you can ask questions, bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, anyone who helps you see things more clearly, basically. Whether it's a concept or a mistake you're making, or just a different way to look at something.
So wrapping that part up, Alex basically said, yeah, it's possible to learn without a teacher,
But
but it takes incredible self-discipline, real curiosity, and a lot of time. And you might waste effort figuring out things someone could have just told you.
right, you might make avoidable mistakes or spend ages reinventing the wheel. A good teacher can seriously speed things up, cut down that learning curve.
Okay, so to make it more concrete, Jamie brought up learning guitar just from the internet. No lessons, no books.
The classic self-taught musician scenario. I think a lot of people have tried that.
Yeah. And Alex figured, okay, you could probably learn some chords, maybe figure out how to play a few songs by watching videos.
You could get started for sure.
But then Jamie pointed out what you'd miss.
Like Having someone correct your posture, your hand position stuff, that's really hard to see yourself doing wrong on a video.
Or suggesting songs or exercises that are actually right for your level instead of just trying something too hard and getting frustrated.
And the deeper stuff, like music theory, you might completely miss that foundation if you're just copying shapes you see online. It gives context to why things work.
So putting it all together, where did Alex and Jamie land? It feels like a balanced view.
Yeah, I think so. They basically said, look, learning without books or teachers, it's more doable now than ever, thanks to technology and the internet.
But
Yeah.
there are trade-offs. You need to know what you might be losing.
Jamie had a neat summary. Books give you the knowledge, teachers give you the direction.
That's good.
And if you skip either, you've got to make up for it yourself. Yeah. That means a lot of internal motivation, being willing to experiment, maybe fail a bit.
Trial and error, basically. And Alex really stressed that underlying curiosity, that wanting to know. That's the engine, especially if you're driving your own learning.
He also suggested something that makes a lot of sense, I think.
The blended approach.
Yeah, maybe the best way isn't strictly one or the other. Maybe it's using books for that solid base, that foundational knowledge.
Okay.
And then finding teachers, formal or informal, for the guidance, the feedback, the correction. He called it the best formula, potentially.
That resonates. You get the depth from the resources and the refinement from the person.
Exactly. And just before they finished, Alex brought it back to that core idea. Whatever path you take, keep that curiosity alive. That's what fuels all learning, isn't it?
It really is. So, thinking about everyone listening, here's the question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Have you ever really learned something significant, a skill, a complex topic, without using books in the traditional sense, or without having a teacher guide you? What was that like?
Oh, that's a great question. We genuinely love to hear those stories.
Yeah, drop us a message, find us on social media, tell us about your own learning adventures.
And maybe just something to chew on for yourself, thinking about these trade-offs we discussed today.
Mm-hmm.
What strengths or maybe weaknesses have you noticed in your own learning when you've had lots of structure versus when you've been more independent? Something to ponder.